Well, hi everybody. Welcome to Tim Time Project's vintage episodes. We don't really have that. I just made that up. You can see behind me a tower. You're probably thinking, Tim, why do you have a tower in your basement? That's just the top section. I bought it a while back and I wanted to put it up, so I brought it in to paint it. I was actually painting it outside, but the weather changed and I had to bring it in. So today I have a home-built SWR meter, and it's kind of neat. It's from back in the 60s, so we'll just take a look at that. Well, would you look at this? This looks to me to be, just by the notes on the side, and I guess the real giveaway is right here, antenna and FR, forward and reverse. This is probably a homemade SWR meter. And I'm looking here and I see the way this is calibrated, and 0.2, 0.4, there's a little key right here. 0.2 is 1.5, probably 1.5 to 1 is the SWR. 0.34, be a little bit further up here, that'd be a hard one to get to, but that would be 2. 0.5 way up here would be 3 SWR, so just like any SWR, you want to be down at that end of the scale if you can. But it says here 566 QST, so I wonder if that came from the May of 1966 QST Magazine. I'll have to look that up. 1 kilowatt, and it can do everything from 160 to 2 meters. That's a little hard to believe that it would be able to get up into the VHF range. But let's, before we go and stick a signal into it, let's open it up and see how it's made. I can hear something rattling around in there, but we can always find something to put a signal in. I'm not afraid of sacrificing one of my radio. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it'll be fine. This was what people would do when they were ham radio operators. They would make stuff. Let me take the screws off the side. Because if anything, if there's a component attached to that, that's going to have to come down. That'll probably do us just fine. Hopefully. Yeah, these seem to just be sheet metal screws without nuts on them, so maybe this will be our secret. Now, ready to come down? Not yet, huh? There's a bunch of screws going through the back, too. Oh, wait. I think we're onto something. Got some movement going on here. And there it is. Okay, so you can tell all this stuff looks to be homemade, but look how extravagant it is. I mean, as far as a shield, an RF shield here, and it does look like a tube going in there, and probably a sense tube for SWR. You see the wires come up out of there, and that would be your forward reverse. Yes, I'm going to say this is an SWR meter. Alright, so I took the cover off of it, and let's see if I can tighten the glass up a little bit. It's not broken. I'll clean it up and tighten it. That's just for me painting my tower. Yeah, I have it here in the basement, so what's it to you? Let me think. So here I found something interesting here. Okay, we're capturing. Okay, so here we have, this is the May 1966 QST Magazine, and what do you see on the front there? An SWR meter. And they have Come down here, some pretty neat stuff. 66, that was quite a while ago. The Stanley Steamer, and right here, the Varimatcher. Right here, the first thing. The Varimatcher. So let's go to page 11 and take a look at it just real quick. There it is here, the Varimatcher. It's an SWR meter. How convenient. They give you the schematic. It looks pretty similar to ours, but I mean, all SWR meters look the same. So here it says, I think the frequency range is 1.8 to 30 megacycles. But then it does mention that the range at 50 and 144. So I don't know. I mean, I could see using it up to 50. I don't know if I'd get up to 144. It might not be an accurate reading, but you never know. And that's it. So hey, pretty slick, huh? Track this one all the way back to 1966. So let me finish cleaning it up and we'll test it out and make a decision on it. I don't know what there is to decide. We'll just know if it works or not. Alright, so here I have the ICOM 746, and I'm going to try the SWR meter. First thing I'm going to do is I have the old SWR meter running through to a dummy load. So I turned the antenna tuner off. We're going to look at SWR right here, the bottom row here. We'll key it on AM. We'll turn the powers all the way down, I believe, or just thereabouts. Let's see. Our power is pretty low. I'll give it a little up. And we'll just make sure that it is pretty close to a 1-to-1. There we go. So as you see, the SWR, that's right about 1. I can hear this meter going crazy over here already. Power, it's about 10. Looks like it's around 10 watts. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in on this guy here, and well, we're through dummy load, so we know it's going to be pretty good. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to key it. I'll key it, and then I'll have to knock everything over, and then I'll have to be able to get to this. It's a little bit tough with where this camera is located to level this up. So I'm going to key it now. Make sure we're in forward, which we are. Alright. Full deflection right about there. Alright, and I'm going to put it on reflected, and it shouldn't hardly move. Wow. So it's saying 0.2. Let's double check here. We're full deflection just about. Oh, well, looks like we're getting a little bit of a storm there. Check these connections. They're a little bit older. You know, that they get corroded. Come on, stop. Well, now it's even higher. Let's look at our forward. Oh, now the forward's off the scale. So there we go. Forwards, that's full. Deflection at 1. Still showing about 0.2, so we'll have to look up and see what 0.2 is. Oop, there's our little thingy here. 0.2 is about 1 to 1.5. I guess it's not that off. So some component tolerance. Let's drop down at like, ooh, I don't know, say 3.5 megahertz. Turn it on. Antenna 2, and on AM. without the tuner. What's this saying? Still getting low SWR. Let's check here. I'm going to look for full scale deflection. I'm going to try and bring you over this so you can see a little bit better. Full scale deflection when I key it. Oops. No, that would have been forward. Alright, well with 20 watts it's not letting me go to full scale deflection. We need more power. I need more power, Kipton. So let's give it a little more power. There we go. Alright. And that's showing on, we'll try that. That's showing almost no reflected power. 21 megahertz. On the antenna 2, where are we there? AM. Forward. Alright. There's that. Let's see if we get reflected. So the reflected still coming up about 1 to 1.5. The meter on the radio is saying about 1. So I'm going to write it off. It's doing what it should, but I think we have some issues with some dirty contacts, and I'll show you why. Even if you look inside here where it connects to the meter, they just have the wire wrapped around this nut, or rather the stud sticking out, and then there's a washer, and the washer's steel. The nut looks to be brass, and of course the wire's probably some copper clad or something, but I'm sure that there's some corrosion and or interference between there, and as you can see, look how dirty these things are. So and the lower in frequency you get, you're closer to DC, so that would be affected more by resistance. Now this one here has a, you can see it has a terminal on it. Maybe you can't see it. Yeah, see, that one actually has a terminal on it, so that would probably work a little bit better. But all in all, it, for being near 60 years old, it does what it's supposed to do, and probably cleaning everything up, it would work pretty well. Pretty interesting.